thou touchest the fire, if thou hast the grate open, thou shalt have leather or wool.
Or a stick.
If thou hast the grate open, thou shalt have leather or wool
Oh, sorry.
over thy skin.
I think for opening.
If thou dost in an emergency have to open the stove without wool or leather, and thou must wear synthetic, thou mayest not wear a glove,
No.
for thou will preserve
Your fingers.
thy fingers. More important than the down. I burnt my down
Yeah.
on the cold night. I'll tell you guys, I burnt my down on my stove. Okay? Me. So, no sudden movements. When thy grate is open, something that lived shall be upon thee. And then it's just, other than that, all snow. You know, don't make it worse by getting in the tent. So let someone close the thing behind you, immediately stop, and you be the block of the spindrift. And you take your parka off open and out, so that all the ice that's going to shed off of that is there. And you step out of your parka, and you throw your mat that you've got ready for you on the ground, and you take your boots off, and you take your other mat and you put it on the side here, you sit down, and there's usually a space here, guest entry space, and you take your boots off, and you scrub them all off, and you take your liners and you put them in, and you retract your feet and you shuffle across, and then you do your admin so that the entry point, it's like a dry dock. And in my tent, and you'll see on these things here, usually there'll be a sheet here.
Yeah.
A sheet that goes just on those 2 points, a little piece of Tyvek, or preferably a piece of Loden or something that isn't going to burn too bad, and just have it hanging down there, so when this opens you don't get a just blast of spindrift, because it doesn't matter if the wind's coming from there, it'll suck it in. So I'm just going to say a whole bunch of stuff regardless of your experience or non-experience, because the procedures and the things that I talk about means that it doesn't matter. And that's the whole point. Because otherwise, if any of you get into any kind of mixed group, and you have the experience that you'll have today, you're going to be a fucking manic anxiety freak. Yeah. With what we've been through in these last few days, the next time you go out in any cold with anyone, you're going to be, oh my god, we can do this, right? Yeah. So, you can't have it, because you'll be all the time, so you just do and this will be the only thing that's actually a lecture, and then I'm going to be just chill, because I just need to get this off my chest and I can just be normal me again. There's only one procedure. Actually, it's no more than 70% of your maximum perceived effort at any time for 50 minutes in the hour, and that could mean that you moved your pulk 5 meters. In that 10 minutes, you have obligatory drink, right? Obligatory thermos flask the night before. With your last fire, you make your lava, which will be hot for the whole next 24 hours. So you're independent of any fire or anything, which means you can get in a damn bivy bag, bin bag, or a tree well if you want, and just drink that shit. And it'll be fine. So, 50 minutes of work, because maybe you will sweat, and in that 10 minutes you get a chance to cool down, because there's some things where you just do and you can't divest because it's a blizzard. Okay, so that means, again, it doesn't matter what the conditions are. It doesn't matter. The rule is 50 minutes, 70%, 10-minute rest, and in that rest you go in layers. And this is from technical diving buoy, right? I'm okay. Well, the only way I'm going to be okay is if I drank my flask. If I drank my flask, it means that my hands are working. My flask has got a loop on it, so I can pour it when my hands are not working. It's just got a loop, I can put my wrist through it,
like a handhold,
and I can just lift it like this, and I can get this thing off like that, and I can glop it with my mittens on if I have to, and I'll spill some of it, it doesn't matter. Get it in you. So, I'm okay. And also you turn inwards. All of you will have noticed at some point you turn inwards, right? And bad place to be, because then you're not watching your mates, and you're not watching the weather, and you're in your hood, we call it. You're locked in the hood. Yeah. Or inside the snorkel. In the hole. So, you drink the thing, and you concentrate on that heat that's gone into your body, and then you let it, you go, okay, so now my breathing, let's calm the breathing down. Just do it 10 breaths with the fucking paying attention, look around you, and just turn in a full circle and look in all the directions to see weather, orientation, just the stupendous, amazing place that you're in, which way the wind is going. So Striggies will be telling you. By the way, if you can't navigate in a whiteout, just put a little streamer on your ski stick and keep it at the same angle. Right? Because it's going to roughly be alright. Otherwise you're only going to forget skiing on the compass, but that's roughly okay. You'll see my ski sticks have a little feather on it, that's fine. So, or lay again, the string, and then you can work on it. You have to go back and forth, but you can do it. So, 50 minutes, 70% effort, okay check, from in to out, and then you go, alright, all the way in, immediate surroundings, also is there in immediate danger, and then you go back and you go, okay, gear, layers, anything on the sled that was bothering me, anything that was bothering you during that 50 minutes that's not vital, don't stop, you fix it in that 10-minute break, otherwise you're going to continuously fidget. So you just decide either to fix it in the next 10 minutes, or it's really drastic and then you can stop. But any fiddling, irritating stuff, fix it all at the same time and then you don't stop. So, me, my gear, my buddies, if I have any, dogs, then I have a look at compass bearing, time to target, and need for comms. Comms, what I do on comms, because the comms was a total delight for shambles today, and luckily it didn't matter. We do the rule of 3-3-3. Every 3 hours, 3 minutes, on channel 3, no privacy, blah blah. All radios can do that. And almost anybody in the world, we're talking again interoperability, NATO, search and rescue, anyone knows the 3-3-3 radio procedure. So, just like with diving, when we go diving on our own, we do whatever the hell we want, yeah? But when we go diving in a unit where we need to interoperate with other unknown units, we do really standardized procedures, and you're like, I don't like it because it's like me. Until you start doing it, and then the whole rest of your head is free. Because just with those few things, you can remember those when you're in the incident pit. When you're cold, you're a damn idiot, right? Can't do a damn thing. Couldn't sort tinder. Couldn't keep yourself warm in a hut where a stove was and a flask. That's how much an idiot you get. Not just you, everyone, including me.
Yeah, it's a cold fog.
Right, if you want to learn and train yourself to it, go diving. Do some deep air dives. That's the state you're in. Yeah, and what happens in deep air diving, you have very simplified procedures. Oh god, 1/3. So here's the last thing I'll say. The rules of 3. When you're counting your steps, don't count them in 2s. That's a bastard drum beat from a slave driver. Don't do that. Do it in 3s. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can march or drag a pulk or do work in sets of 3 with joy forever. If you're doing it on the 2 beat, it's the slave master. Just try it out. So, 3 p.m. we're looking for where we're sleeping. If we haven't found just the nicest place by 4, we're stopping where we're staying. Now we're talking about thirds, the last 3 with diving. Who does the last third of the tank belong to?
Whoever needs it most.
Your mother.
Yeah.
Belongs to your mother.
Mother. Yeah.
You don't get to spend the last third of your fuel. Not your energy, not your air, not your wood, not your flask, not your batteries. The last 1/3 of all necessary resources for life belong to your mama. Whoever needs it. Yeah? But
Whoever needs it. Yeah.
so, that's why we have to do that. And that is the short version of Susanne Williams' How to Live in Situations Inimical to Life. It works for everything. Fire, wildfire, combat, deep diving, anti-poach, ranger operations, civilian hardened civilian escort of people in Hume, everything. And I teach it to military people and others all around the world. So usually that lecture is like 5 days, okay? But because I don't want to hog it and I'm fucking done, right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm done that kind of talking now. So you've had that, that's the entire condensed wisdom
Susanne Williams.
in a
nutshell.
In a nutshell.
But in a nutshell, simple to remember.
Yeah. So
now we'll take that with us for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
So,
last step,
and apply it.
naming of the teachers. You have to name the teachers if you're passing stuff on. So naming of the teachers: Dixie Danziger, who's now dead, unfortunately died in Greenland. Dixie Danziger, Harry Whale. Pete knows Harry Whale. Actually, Kilian Falcon, who was my first mountain guide. If you read him, he's fairly well known. Yeah. And in Germany, it's any mountain rescue.
Cool.
So, because you must name the source where it came from. Flash hypothermia was the big lesson.
Yep.
And we're going to write it up. We're going to write the whole thing up as a proper structured
Yeah,
book
that was a new one on
thing.
me. I'm trained in hypothermia
Yeah.
triage in the UK.
Yep. It's all part of
I didn't even recognise that.
No,
I'm sat here doing this and I'm going, oh, I'm fine. Look at me, I'm fine.
That's why you can't evaluate.
Yeah.
You can't tell whether you're fine.
Yeah.
You have to just do the procedure.